Chosen one, this moment is delicate. Please don't scroll. Don't rush past this pause in your spirit. What you're feeling right now is not emotion. It's alignment. Heaven slowed your steps for a reason, because this message didn't appear by accident. It arrived with intention. Somewhere in the unseen, a thread was pulled, a signal was released, and your heart was tuned to hear it. This is one of those rare moments where timing matters more than explanation. Right now, a woman is standing at the edge of something heavy. She feels unseen, unheard, and stretched beyond what she thought she could carry. Her strength is thinning. Her faith is whispering instead of shouting. She may not know how to ask for help anymore, but her spirit cried out anyway. And chosen one, before we go deeper, pause for a moment, hit subscribe, and comment. I receive if your spirit is already responding, because this message is about to speak directly to you, not by chance, but by calling. Here is where recognition begins. You know what it feels like to fight silent battles. You know the weight of carrying responsibility while appearing strong. You've survived seasons where help never came when you needed it most. And that's exactly why God trusts you now. Not because you're perfect, but because you're familiar with pain, empathy, and restraint. Heaven often recruits those who remember what it felt like to be alone in the dark. This is not about fixing everything. It's not about having the right words or the perfect solution. It's about presence, about obedience, about stepping into a moment that feels small on earth but carries eternal weight. Sometimes God doesn't send rescue in dramatic ways. He sends people. He sends you. A message, a call, a prayer, a hand extended at the right second. If you feel a quiet urgency instead of fear, if your heart feels stirred, not pressured, that's how you know this is divine. God doesn't shout when he nudges. He whispers, so only the willing respond. And chosen one, your willingness has already been noted in heaven. Stay with me, because what you are about to understand will reveal why you were chosen for this moment and how one obedient step can become someone else's turning point. Chosen one, take a moment to feel this deeply. Separation does not always come with drama, argument, or pain that screams for attention. Often it is quiet, subtle, almost invisible at first. People drift, relationships shift. Bonds that once felt unbreakable begin to loosen, and the world may whisper, it's rejection, you're failing. But chosen one, that is not the truth. Separation happens naturally. It is a divine recalibration. It is God quietly reshaping your life to match the path he has prepared for you. Have you noticed how sometimes certain connections simply fade? Not because of betrayal, not because of wrongdoing, but because the season has changed? God moves gently but decisively. Alignment has shifted. The energy, the vision, the destination you are being called to no longer fits the weight or vibration of what remains. And this is purposeful. God removes what cannot follow you into your next chapter. He does not do this to punish you. He does this to protect you, to clear your path, to ensure that your journey forward is unhindered by what cannot grow alongside you. Can you feel the quiet wisdom in that? The subtle mercy? Separation is not loss. It is liberation. It is the shedding of what cannot sustain the next level of your life. People drift away not because you are inadequate, but because the universe, under God's direction, is making room. Room for new opportunities. Room for the people who are meant to rise with you. Room for the breakthrough that can only exist when old weights are released. How often have you clung to something or someone simply out of fear? Fear that letting go would mean losing your purpose? That fear is being dissolved now. God is showing you that true alignment is always forward-facing. Chosen one, this natural separation is also a mirror. It asks you to observe without resentment, to trust without understanding, and to release without judgment. Ask yourself, who or what in your life cannot follow you into the next season? What patterns, relationships, or attachments have begun to quietly fade, signaling that it is time to move differently? These moments are not coincidences. They are God's way of clearing your path, ensuring that what remains in your life is not a distraction, but a catalyst. There is profound peace in recognizing that separation is not failure. It is refinement. It is pruning. It is the gentle, unseen work of heaven, creating space for what is destined to flourish in your life. God is not abandoning you. He is orchestrating your alignment. And as people and situations fall away naturally, you are being positioned for divine companionship, for support, and for opportunities that match the vibration of your calling. So, chosen one, do not grieve the distance that grows quietly. Do not resist the gaps that appear without conflict. Instead, honor the shift. Recognize that every separation is a signal, a marker, a protective hand from heaven saying, step forward. Your path is ready. What cannot come with you is being removed so that your next season can fully rise. Stay aware, stay trusting, because natural separation is never accidental. It is deliberate, it is sacred, and it is proof that God is aligning your life, guiding your steps, and clearing the way for the destiny that only you and the people and opportunities that truly belong with you can walk together toward. This is the quiet miracle of divine timing in action. Chosen one, pause for a moment and listen beneath the surface of your thoughts. That quiet tug you feel, the one that doesn't shout, the one that keeps returning even when you try to explain it away, is not emotion, it is direction. Emotion rises and falls with circumstance, but this nudge stays steady. It returns in silence. It waits patiently when you are distracted, and it speaks again when your heart is calm. That is how God directs those he trusts. You may have wondered, why do I feel drawn to this? Why can't I shake this sense of responsibility? It's because God does not push his chosen ones with force. He leads them with precision. Pressure creates resistance, but direction creates alignment. And what you are sensing now is alignment forming, not urgency born of fear, but instruction wrapped in peace. Can you feel the difference? Chosen one, sympathy fades, emotion reacts, but divine direction remains clear even when feelings fluctuate. That is why this nudge doesn't disappear when you rest, when you pray, or when you try to move on. It is not asking for your energy, it is asking for your obedience. God speaks this way when he knows you are capable of responding without being overwhelmed. He trusts your discernment, he trusts your maturity, he trusts that you can recognize his voice without theatrics. Think about this. How many times in your life did God guide you gently, only for you to realize later that the quiet nudge saved you, redirected you, or positioned you exactly where you needed to be? Those moments were not emotional impulses. They were divine course corrections. And this moment carries that same signature: the calm certainty, the steady pull, the absence of panic. Direction always feels like this when it comes from God. Chosen one, God does not compete with your fears or your logic. He waits until your spirit is ready to hear him. That's why this nudge feels personal, intentional, and persistent. It is not confusion. It is not guilt. It is not pressure from others. It is heaven saying, this way. And when God points, it is never random. It is always connected to purpose, timing, and trust. Ask yourself honestly, if this were just emotion, would it still be here after reflection, after prayer, after rest? But it remains, doesn't it? Because it is instruction, and instruction carries responsibility. Not to rush, not to panic, but to respond. God gently directs those he trusts because he knows they will listen without needing force. Chosen one, this is a sacred moment, a quiet one, a decisive one. You are not being pushed, you are being led. And the path being revealed now is not about comfort, it is about alignment. Stay attentive, stay grounded, because when the nudge is this steady, this calm, and this clear, it is not your emotions speaking, it is God giving direction. Chosen one, listen closely, because the heaviness you feel is not a sign that you are failing. It is the unmistakable signature of preparation. Life feels heavier right now, and that weight presses on your chest, your mind, and your spirit. But this weight is not punishment, it is refinement. It is the quiet work of God shaping you for what is next. Before promotion comes the pressure, Before elevation comes the resistance, and before breakthrough comes the fire that strengthens the vessel. Have you noticed how your challenges seem to intensify just before a turning point? How obstacles appear larger, deadlines feel tighter, and responsibilities feel heavier? That is no coincidence. God does not rush his chosen ones, but he does refine them. The pressure you are experiencing is part of a sacred process designed to strengthen your spirit, sharpen your discernment, and fortify your resolve. Ask yourself, if you were promoted without preparation, would you withstand the responsibility, the influence, the destiny waiting for you? Pressure exists to answer that question before the promotion arrives. Chosen one, consider this truth. Sealed people are forged under pressure. Gold is refined in fire. Diamonds are shaped under weight, and your life is undergoing a similar transformation. The heaviness is the signal that your capacity is increasing. Your vision is expanding. Your resilience is being built. What once would have overwhelmed you now begins to sharpen your focus. What once would have made you retreat now deepens your trust in God. This is not arbitrary suffering. This is divine architecture, building a vessel capable of carrying greater purpose. Think about the timing. How many times have you looked back and realized that the period of intense struggle was exactly when you were being prepared for something far beyond what you imagined? That pressure was not meant to crush you. It was meant to position you, to align your heart, refine your character, and heighten your sensitivity to God's voice. The promotion, the breakthrough, the opportunity, the elevation is coming, and the pressure you feel is simply the prelude, the tuning before the symphony begins. Chosen one, pressure is also a measure of trust. God does not refine what he cannot entrust. Every challenge, every responsibility, every weight you feel is a divine affirmation. He knows you can handle what is next. He knows your capacity to endure, your patience to wait, and your wisdom to act when the moment arrives. This pressure is not random. It is tailored to you, your calling, and your future influence. Can you feel it in your chest? That subtle fire, that rising tension. That is heaven strengthening the vessel that will soon be elevated. Ask yourself, will you resist the weight, seeing it as burden? Or will you embrace it as preparation, knowing it is forging your destiny? Will you let temporary heaviness define you? Or will you allow God's refining process to shape you into someone capable of holding what he has prepared? Chosen one, heaviness today is the herald of elevation tomorrow. Strength now is the foundation for authority later. Endurance now is the bridge to breakthrough. So breathe, stay steady, and trust the process. Pressure is not punishment, it is preparation. It is a divine signal that the elevation you seek is already on its way, and God is strengthening you to carry it with wisdom, courage, and grace. The weight you feel now is proof that promotion is imminent and that you are ready to rise. Chosen one, pause for a moment and breathe this in, because what you are about to hear carries quiet power. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to understand the entire plan. God has never asked his people to carry the whole outcome, only the next step. And more often than not, that next step looks so small that the mind tries to dismiss it. A message, a call, a simple act of kindness. Yet heaven knows something you may not see yet. Small obedience can unlock massive breakthroughs. Think about how God works throughout history. He parts seas with a raised staff. He feeds thousands with a small offering. He changes destinies through a single yes. The pattern has never been about size, it has always been about surrender. What feels minor to you may be monumental to someone else. That one message you're hesitating to send could arrive at the exact moment her hope is fading. That one call could interrupt despair with reassurance. That one act of kindness could become the evidence she's been praying for that God still sees her. Ask yourself this honestly. Why does it feel so simple, yet so heavy? Why does your spirit keep returning to this nudge, even when your logic says it's insignificant? That is because obedience carries weight far beyond what the eyes can measure. God hides great outcomes inside small instructions, so that glory doesn't belong to human effort, but to divine orchestration. You are not being asked to be the solution, you are being asked to be the vessel. Chosen one, imagine how many breakthroughs are delayed not because God is silent, but because someone hesitated at a small instruction, not out of rebellion, but out of doubt. Is this really necessary? Does this even matter? What if it changes nothing? Yet faith was never about guarantees. Faith is about alignment. And alignment begins the moment you move, even when the move feels modest, especially when it feels modest. Consider her side of the story. She may be carrying a weight you cannot see. She may be praying quietly, wondering if anyone notices, if anyone cares, if God has forgotten her. And then your small obedience arrives. Not loud, not dramatic, just timely. And suddenly relief enters the room. Hope breathes again. Not because you saved her, but because God used your willingness to remind her that she is not alone. Do you see how sacred that is? Do you realize how carefully God weaves these moments together? He does not overwhelm you with the whole picture because he wants your trust, not your control. One step, one action, one yes. That is all he asks. And in that simplicity, breakthroughs are born. So ask yourself now, what small act has been placed on your heart that you've been underestimating? What gentle instruction have you been delaying because it didn't seem powerful enough? What if that very thing is the key God chose to unlock peace, clarity, or hope in her life? Chosen one, don't wait for a grand gesture. Heaven moves through humble obedience. One message, one call, one moment of kindness. Move now, not because it feels big, but because God is in it. And when the breakthrough unfolds, you will realize that small obedience was never small at all. It was perfectly chosen, perfectly timed, and divinely powerful. Chosen one, pause and feel the weight of this truth. Heaven is watching, not casually, not passively, but with precision, love, and care that surpasses human understanding. Every movement of your heart, every subtle intention behind your action is noticed. God values not only what you do, but why you do it, the sincerity of your heart, the purity of your motives, the quiet courage to act when no one is looking. These are what heaven measures, and these are what can shift destinies. Have you ever hesitated because you thought your effort was too small, too ordinary, or too invisible to matter? Chosen one, that hesitation is exactly where the test lies. It is in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when fear whispers that it is insignificant, that God's gaze is most attentive. He sees the alignment of your spirit with his will. He sees the courage it takes to act without reward, without recognition, and without certainty. And when you respond with compassion, even in the smallest way, you are not just helping another person. You are partnering with heaven itself to restore what pain, circumstance, or delay tried to steal. Ask yourself, what acts have you overlooked because they seem minor? What prayers, what calls, what messages, what gestures of kindness have you held back, thinking the impact would be too small? Chosen one, it is in these very moments that divine orchestration unfolds. Your willingness, your heart, your alignment. These become the instruments God uses to turn suffering into relief, despair into hope, and stagnation into momentum. Compassion is not passive, it is powerful. Obedience paired with empathy can ripple through someone's life in ways you may never witness. Consider her situation. She may feel unseen, unheard, and unnoticed by the world, carrying burdens that feel too heavy to bear. But when your heart moves in alignment with God's purpose, you become the vessel through which divine intervention flows. Heaven does not need your perfection. It only needs your willingness. And when you respond from a place of genuine care, God magnifies the action far beyond what the eyes can see. What may seem like a simple message or a quiet prayer can become the turning point in her life, the moment where hope re-enters, where clarity arrives, and where her spirit begins to rise again. Chosen one, remember this. Your intentions matter as much as your actions. The heart behind your obedience is what heaven honors. When you act with sincerity, with humility, and with compassion, you are participating in a sacred partnership that restores, heals, and transforms. This is the power of alignment. This is the gift of faithful response. This is why God positions you in the right place at the right moment. So your heart, guided by His Spirit, becomes the channel through which breakthrough is released. Ask yourself now, will you act from convenience, from expectation, or from the quiet courage of a heart aligned with God's will? Your response matters far more than you realize. Every small act of love, every step of obedience, every gesture of compassion creates a ripple that heaven is ready to magnify. Chosen one, the moment is sacred, the window is open, heaven is watching, and your heart is the instrument. Respond with courage, respond with compassion, respond with obedience, because the alignment of your spirit with God's purpose may become the very bridge that restores what life tried to take away. A breakthrough, a hope, a life renewed. This is your calling. This is your moment, and heaven is watching. Chosen one, hear this deeply. Some moments in life are fleeting, fragile, and precise. They arrive quietly, almost imperceptibly, and if ignored, they pass like wind through your fingers. The opportunity before you is one of those moments. Delay is dangerous not because God has forgotten, not because the plan isn't ready, but because timing is sacred. When God orchestrates a breakthrough, He aligns people, circumstances, and hearts into a precise moment. Hesitation risks missing that alignment. Acting now isn't just helpful, it honors the divine timing of heaven itself. Have you ever looked back and realized that a small delay caused a ripple of missed opportunity? Perhaps a call not made, a message not sent, or a prayer not spoken seemed insignificant at the time. But the timing mattered. Chosen one, this moment is not ordinary. This is not a trial of patience. This is a test of alignment. God has positioned you, placed her, and orchestrated circumstances so that the breakthrough intended for both of you can move forward. Hesitation does not just delay the effect, it risks closing the window entirely. Ask yourself, if you wait, will this opportunity return in the same way? Will the moment repeat itself with perfect alignment, or has heaven opened it only once for now? The stakes are higher than comfort, convenience, or certainty. This is not about ego or recognition. It is about participation in divine orchestration. The breakthrough waiting for her and the growth waiting for you are intertwined. By moving in obedience and courage, you protect the flow of what God has prepared. By waiting out of doubt or fear, you risk letting the perfect timing slip into another season, one that may not be as precise, as powerful, or as transformative. Timing matters as much as faith. Timing matters as much as action. Think about the rhythm of heaven. Every element has a place. Every circumstance is designed to converge at the perfect moment. The woman who is on the verge of breakthrough may feel stuck, unseen, or hopeless. And yet, God has designed this very moment for your participation. Your action is the bridge that allows her breakthrough to connect with the timing of divine purpose. Even a small step, a prayer, a call, a gesture, can lock in the momentum that heaven has prepared. But a delay risks creating a gap, and some windows are not meant to remain open indefinitely. Chosen one, do you feel the urgency rising in your chest? That is not fear. That is spiritual resonance. That is the whisper of heaven telling you, act now. To honor the breakthrough, to honor her, and to honor the perfect timing God has orchestrated. Your obedience is required in this moment. Do not overthink it. Do not wait for clarity that will come only after the window passes. Move now. Respond now. Step forward with faith, even if the path seems uncertain, even if the act feels small. Ask yourself, will I risk waiting, or will I act in alignment with divine timing? Will I allow hesitation to let the moment slip, or will I become the instrument God intended to unlock breakthrough, hope, and transformation? Chosen one, the window is here. The timing is exact, and your action now protects the flow of God's perfect orchestration. This is sacred. This is urgent. This is divinely aligned. Heaven is waiting for your obedience, and your movement in faith could be the key that ensures the breakthrough arrives, fully, powerfully, and precisely as God intended. The question is simple yet profound. Will you move now, or will the moment pass?